Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more interesting stories like these. Now, let's get into today's story video. AITA for taking back my PS5 my mom gave to our cousin as a gift. In order to accommodate my age, 19, and my mother's, 57, age, as well as my cousin's, 13, I waited until November 2021 to try a PlayStation 5 I've been wanting since its release, and on November 22nd, I finally received one. The fact that I couldn't wait to get my hands on another controller and a bunch of games to play with it further added to my excitement, and I ended up spending some of my me-time savings in the process. Nevertheless, since it is also the time of year when people begin to think about Christmas presents, I set aside this as a present for myself or my cousin, as I will refer to him. Despite the fact that Joe has autism and that I like him, I must point out that he is very spoiled, and his parents do nothing to teach him a lesson. He was desperate for a PlayStation 5 and had several tantrums when he didn't get one. In order to keep the peace, my mom took my PlayStation 5 and concealed it from me while I was at school. The fact that it was not there surprised me, and I broke down in tears, knowing that I had invested a lot of time and money on it. My mother informed me that she had taken my PlayStation 5 in order to calm down my cousin, and that she would reimburse me. Her idea of paying me back is an iPad. Following an extended exchange in which I berated her for interfering with my personal space and how dare she do so, she hung up on me to give me some room to cool down before hanging up on me again. So when I wasn't ready to calm down, I went to my cousin's house and rang the doorbell. Stealing my PS5 and games, I forgot to mention that she also grabbed the games, and returning home. A PS300 iPad isn't going to cover PS700 in bills after all. Despite the fact that she tried to dissuade me by saying, "This is everything my sweet baby needs for Christmas," I disregarded her and continued driving home. My whole family is putting pressure on me to return it, claiming that it is not within my rights to go against my mother's wishes in this situation. I feel bad for his family, since they are not in a solid financial position, and obtaining a PS5, if they can find one, would cause major disruptions in their lives. So, how do you feel about AITA? Edit. The home in question belonged to me. I had moved out a few months prior, and she obtained entry by using an additional key I had given her for emergencies only. Story 2. AITA for calling my girlfriend, who hates swearing, eh? It has been around 6 months since I, a 22-year-old guy, began dating my girlfriend, a 21-year-old female. I like her and think she's very lovely. My younger brothers are triplets, and I have 3 younger brothers as well, 14M. It took a long time for me to find out how to identify them different, since they're also identical. Hell, it's still the case considering how much they like upsetting the whole family and pretending to be one another, among other things. Despite this, my parents have mastered the art of telling them apart, and I'm well on my way to being one of them. Anyway, I introduced Janet to the family a few months ago, and she surprised me by being able to tell the triplets apart on a number of occasions. She was quite happy with herself. What you're saying makes sense to me. She, on the other hand, has given them nicknames that are based on their own characteristics. She refers to them as Bones because he is substantially skinnier than the others, Freckleface because he has somewhat more freckles than the others, and Shaky because he is significantly shorter than the others. His hands shake a lot due to his anxiety. It would be okay if she kept the nicknames to herself, but she refers to the males as Bones, Freckleface, and Shaky in her conversations with them. My brothers are irritated by it, particularly the one she refers to as Shaky. To be honest, I don't blame them, so I spoke about it with Jenny yesterday and informed her that she needed to stop doing it. My brothers are bothered by it, and it disturbs me as well. According to her, we were all being too sensitive, and that she was only making an effort to discriminate between the two of us. She questioned as to whether they wanted her to switch them up on a regular basis. I attempted to explain that it wasn't the observations that bothered me / them. If it helped her recognize them as different, that's fine, she can keep it in her head, but rather her referring to them as Bones and other such names that bothered me / them. Afterwards, she informed me that I had no right to be upset, which makes sense, but it makes me sad to watch my brothers in such distress. So when she claimed that they were excessively sensitive and wailing babies, I called her a B*TCH and told her she was being unreasonable. You're acting like a B*TCH. He expresses it directly. My girlfriend despises cussing, and she has made it quite clear to me that she feels the same way. She was visibly furious as a consequence of this. As she responded, "How can you expect me to respect your choices if you don't respect mine?" I said, revealing that I, too, am a hypocrite. I walked away from the situation, calling it absurd, but my girlfriend told me that I was a giant and that I shouldn't talk to her until I apologized, which I haven't done. I don't feel I made any blunders in this situation. Maybe I shouldn't have cursed, but why does it seem to be okay for her to make fun of my brothers? Some of my friends find her obnoxious, while others believe she has a legitimate point. Another individual claimed that I had escalated the situation without cause. AITA for cursing at her despite the fact that she despises it. Update. Hello, everyone. So first and foremost, I'd want to thank you for assisting me with this matter. I realize the solution may have seemed apparent to others, but I struggle with obvious stuff and generally end up making a million errors, haha. But you'll be relieved to know I broke up with her after work the day after I published my OG article. I read your remarks and took them all in. I don't want to date someone who insults my brothers and shows no remorse. Then he assigns responsibility to me. My buddies assisted me in saying that and instructed me on how to break up with her fast and without wasting time, as I always do, and I accomplished it. I invited her to meet me at a park and informed her that I wanted to end our relationship because of how she treats my brothers. There will be no apologies, and I will go right to the point. She attempted to say something, but my buddy, who was seated a little farther away, summoned me to spare me from whatever she was trying to say. I went home, hung out with my brothers, who applauded when I told them I had broken up with her, and then noticed she had blocked me on her social media, which I suppose is a good thing, but I'm still a little down. I didn't at first since I knew it was the correct thing to do, but it eventually hit me and I felt empty. She wasn't my first girlfriend, but she was the first one that didn't continuously make fun of me for being dumb. My pals are relieved I'm no longer with her, so maybe she wasn't all that great. But yes, some people were surprised that I couldn't tell my brothers apart, but I can. I just had to work hard at times. I stated it in the comments, but one of the things I struggle with is telling individuals apart. Some folks also questioned why I continued referring to myself as slow or stupid. It's because I'm a woman. I struggle to grasp so many topics and do poorly in school. To comprehend, I need someone to talk slowly and explain things down. I wanted assistance in breaking up with Ma Cheek and told me that she loved me just as much as I adored her, and she vowed to make more time for us to spend together in the near future. Despite the fact that she forced me into cleaning my teeth and going to bed, she sat next to me in bed and held my hand until I no longer need her assistance. Obviously, I was fully aware that it was ridiculous, but I enjoyed it and it made me feel a little special once again. Since then, there has been a tremendous improvement in the situation. Due to the fact that we've been spending so much more time together, people have begun to believe that we're a true family. In spite of the fact that I haven't visited my former residence in a long time, I truly want to, but it will have to wait until another time. In all honesty, I'm simply relieved that things between my aunt and me are getting better and will continue to be better in the future. Edit. My free block is almost up, and I'm not heading to Reddit for lunch. I apologize for not being able to thank everyone individually, but I appreciate everything you said. It means a great deal to me. I adore you all. Edit 2. I appreciate everyone who DM'd me about the Mom for a Minute subreddit. It seems to be a terrific location, so maybe I'll publish there in the future.